I don't know if you're still muted, but
I am.
there we go. Oh, I forgot to say so mean.
Allegedly.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So here we are. We're gonna do the live press conference with the coroner up in Teton, Wyoming, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we've got some links here. We're gonna try to find the best one to stream, but I guess it's a Zoom call or something like that, right?
I think that's how they're handling everything these days, is on Zoom calls. Court is still through Zoom. Lots of stuff still through Zoom. So it looks like every channel is going to have it on. I know CBS has it on. I sent you that over, but
Yeah.
it's a bunch of others as well. So
Okay. Well, we'll just have to let me open this up and figure out which one is going to be which. Yeah, it looks like Fox has something regarding that right now.
okay.
I mean, it's just here. Well, I'll just switch over the other screen, like this one.
There we go.
I don't know if it's live yet, but people are moving around doing things. Like this is actually the coroner. Maybe they're driving to another place, something like that.
Possibly, yeah.
So what do you think about, do you think that John Walsh spilled the beans?
Why? Why do you say that?
I mean, the other day when he said that she was beaten to death.
Possibly. I mean, well, would he know already?
Yeah,
He
I think he would. I think if he's going to be doing those shows that he does, because he did a show on the case. I'm sure they made him aware of what was going on. You know, they always get a little bit of inside information. I think it'd be a weird thing to just accidentally say.
I mean, gosh, you know,
This is a loop. Yeah, it's a loop.
regardless of how she passed, being beaten to death, I mean, that took a lot of rage.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, when you think about it, what's the best way to go? A quick gunshot wound right to the head.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of. I wouldn't want to die that way or any other way by somebody else's hand. But I mean, beaten to death? God, I hope that's not accurate.
Yeah.
And he's still out there on the run. At this point, I'm like, is he even alive anymore? I honestly don't know at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think there might be strangling involved, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I don't know.
A lot of people said strangled. I mean, that takes a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there could be like a strangling, and then she was still alive, and then he used a rock or something. I mean, it just seems like a strange thing to say by Walsh, to just randomly say, and he beat her to death. Well, where did he get that? That wouldn't be something you would just accidentally just assume, you know.
When he said it, I was kind of like, oh, God.
Yeah.
What is this? Breaking news. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have it here, but there might be a better, you know, let's see.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go to WFLA only because, you know, I was thinking,
yeah,
JD is probably going to talk through the whole thing. No offense to JD. I know we all like him, but
I think you may have all seen Secretary of State convey this weekend that time is not unlimited, and that remains the case. But we continue to pursue the.
I think they cut over to that for some reason. Watch live corner, provide more details on.
Definitely don't want to listen to her.
Yeah, no, she's. Yeah.
I'm like, can we not listen to her?
Yeah, she's. I don't know if this is where it's going to be, though, right? I mean, what happened to that link? Oh, there it is. No, that is the live button. This is live, so maybe they'll cut over right when that happens. Welcome, Pink is my RX. How's it going?
How is everybody in the chat today?
I think there was somebody else, too, up there. Welcome. Or no, it was a Bengal cat mom is 2 months. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, my boss is calling, so I gotta mute.
Oh. Help you feel better, Mandy. Yeah, so I'm not sure which one of these is going to go have a live stream. Not sure. I mean, WFLA usually has one, and we could cut over there on Facebook during the actual press conference, because then the guy isn't talking. I know he's probably live on YouTube though, so yeah, same place to watch. And if you noticed, I haven't been covering the case for a few days, and guess why? Because there's been no new news. Yet you have people covering almost like it's a vigil every second of every day with nothing. How is that possible? I don't know. Must be cool. Let's see. What is your Facebook page? I don't know what that means. I'm just waiting for a live stream to kick in.
Brian Ensign's doing it on it's live now anyway.
Hold of them, see what was going on after they hadn't been hearing from Gabby. They thought maybe even at one point Brian had also gone missing when they weren't able to hear any response coming from the Laundrie family. That was until then they found out that Gabby's van had returned back to Florida. Brian had returned to Florida, but their daughter, Gabby Petito, had not been back in Florida. So Teton County, Wyoming Coroner Brent Blue, again, going to be holding this virtual press conference on Tuesday, and this is going to be the final autopsy report. As we heard from Fox's Laura Engel a little bit ago, we also are hoping that this kind of gives us a little bit better of sense of a timeline as to how long ago things had happened. We know, although she was reported missing on September 11th, her body found 8 days later. September 1st is when Brian had returned back to Florida. So hopefully this can help lay out a little bit more of those details, as again, her remains had been dispersed at a campground in Bridger Teton National Forest. So again, that preliminary autopsy ruled Petito's death a homicide, and now we're expecting to hear even more in this final autopsy report, likely going to include Petito's time of death, the cause of death, and it will hopefully help investigators determine her. So we do have
people say, you can WFLA, you can't stream YouTube streams. I mean, I think in this case it's a little different because it's what they're streaming isn't their stream either. You know, the Zoom isn't their own creation, right? But like there's people that just stream people's live streams all day, and that's absolutely against YouTube's terms of service. Like you can't do that. So when people say, hey, WFLA, now if it's on Facebook or something and it's the coroner report, the press conference, then that's cool.
So again, Petito's parents had reported her missing 8 days.
Now look at this. This is better video of that when they were walking around.
So sad.
There's been a massive manhunt for Brian Laundrie. Now, where is he? Is he inside of that massive nature reserve where he had said to have gone hiking? It's unknown. Police have been trying to comb through that massive area. Authorities have been trying to release little pieces of
think he's still alive
at a time back when Gabby had been reported missing. But
I don't know. I'm like 50-50. I really don't have a good sense on that.
Any clues.
I thought maybe he was dead early on, but
actually is. So
I don't know. There must be signs that he's out there.
To date, ever since this case came into all of our
what do you think?
Rooms. And again,
I don't know. I don't think he's alive.
Yeah.
I'm leaning further and further towards him not being alive.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's surviving out there still. Nobody's seen him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it seems like the FBI is searching that reserve over and over. They're kind of looking for a body, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, saying I think he's alive. I believe he is. I think he's dead. 50-50. I think he's alive, but he's in a house hiding. Yeah, very true. Both of us and the whole stream is blurry. If you go up, tap your screen and go up to the dots, or if you're watching on a computer, Go down to those little 3 dots. So where is it? You have to change your resolution.
Yeah, it's
sometimes that'll happen.
Yeah, right below the video, the cog gear wheel thing.
Yeah, that little wheel. Yep. And quality. Adjust your quality.
Continue bringing you this full coverage on Gabby Petito right here on Live Now from Fox after we return. Again, much more coming up here in just 2 short minutes.
2 minutes? Gee, I don't have 2 minutes. Come on.
What's going on here?
Yeah, it's also a good thing to know about the cogwheel in case your stream is buffering all the time. You can lower it down to the lower numbers, and it'll be not as clear, but you can hear the audio and everything on time. All right, so that's why they have that. Should I check let me check some of these other guys here. Does WFLA?
Yeah, News Nation now. They're doing it too. Hey, I'm over on Twitter just looking. I don't see anything.
Moments away from answers.
Okay, let me turn the audio. Let me turn the audio down.
Serve here, serving our view.
Okay, so that's there. So whatever has the best audio will flip over to that one. Okay.
I was saying thank you to Salty for her super chat. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Salty! Let me put that one over there. There it is.
Changed and it's still blurry? Is it blurry for everybody else? Because I'm watching on 2 screens and it's super clear.
Yeah, it's
like ridiculous.
And I'm streaming at 1080, so it's not.
Yeah. Stream's good for you.
Yeah, and we'll just even
You're welcome, Pink.
In the studio it's clear.
Super clear there. Not blurry.
But I'll make sure if I ever get like a big zit on my nose, I'm gonna make it so I'm streaming at like 180. You know, it's just gonna be.
I hope you're not getting zits on your nose as an adult, Gray. But I guess it could happen.
I'm just kidding. But every once in a while, you still get pimples though as adults. I thought they just sort of went away. You know.
I got one here the other day. It's right there. I tried to cover it up, but.
Well, I never noticed it, but now, man, it sticks out like, you know, a volcano. Just kidding.
Listen, don't make me put my makeup on right here. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Seeing how happy and normal Brian looked while camping with his parents and sister's kids, I don't think he'd unalive himself. Maybe not. I
don't see those. Have you seen those pictures? I haven't seen them.
Oh, yeah.
So this is between the 6th and that time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, I'm just kind of like not, you know, I'm not following the little tiny stuff like that. It's just not really, doesn't help find him or anything.
No, but I did want to see, you know, because of his sister saying, you know, we were only there for a little while and I don't know, but I mean, they were there 6 hours. They went in the water, they were making s'mores, they were doing all kinds of fun stuff with Uncle Brian.
Where are those pictures? There's a whole bunch of pictures.
I saw at least 3.
And who released them?
She did.
The sister.
Huh. Yeah. Yep. The father was smiling and relaxed during the search. Very strange.
Maybe it was their goodbye camping trip. You know,
it could have been.
You know, goodbye. Like the whole family shows up there. Nobody's asking about Gabby. You know, it's
so weird.
That part's still strange, no matter what. Thank you, Quietly Frozen. That's one of my favorite names on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool name. Thanks, Quietly. It is weird. I saw him and the FBI guy walking together, the dad. And I mean, you know, are you allowed to smile? Of course. Maybe the guy was trying to break the tension, the FBI dude, and told him a joke or something. Who knows? But the whole thing was so strange at this point. How long have we been looking for him now? A long time. It feels like forever.
Well, it feels, you know, it's weird. It feels like forever. But I remember just 2 weeks into the Petito case in general, you know, it seemed like 6 months. I mean, it was like, because it's so intense, like every day there's some new thing that was going on. I just want to make sure I got I want a good feed. What's WFLA doing?
Getting all the phone calls now. 1 second.
Yeah, so when was that? 14th is when I started covering it of September. So that's about when people started wondering where he was. But that wasn't the biggest thing. It was sort of like, yeah, I mean, well, it was weird because there wasn't a lot of information out yet about where the van was and where they were. She was missing. And it turns out, well, the van's all the way over in Florida, and then he became somebody people were interested in. So that's been almost a month total, but doesn't it seem much longer? I mean, it's just been going on and on. Thanks, living it. I could turn up the audio a little bit if you want. But
ever since, again, Gabby had been reported missing, and bringing you each and every single day these different developments that have continued to unfold as we've looked into this case. And as you can see in that right-hand box, we're still waiting for this press conference to take place. I'm going to go ahead,
so
send us into a quick break, and hopefully when we all return, we're going to be hearing from Dr. Brent Blue on this final autopsy report out of Wyoming.
Searches after 13 days due to resources. Yeah, well, they didn't really start looking for him for a long time. Like, I think it was, what was it, around the 18th, 17th, 18th?
For our viewers not in that 2 minutes,
we're
going to
a while.
Continue to keep this shot up here for you. Going to be leaving the sound up also for that Zoom call, because as soon as we do hear
watch it be really bad
speaking,
low.
We want to be on top of it here for all of our viewers.
Zoom is so awful now. Gosh, it's terrible.
What is?
The Zoom quality a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Especially as we continue to have you.
People have the background and your head's disappearing and people are going in and out. They're all talking over each other. It's like, oh god, this is horrible.
It almost sounds like EVP a little bit, right? So you can make it say whatever you want it to say. You know? Yeah.
Thanks. We have 2 new members.
Awesome.
Living It and Jackie P. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Hey, Ange. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. This whole case has really been pretty nerve-wracking from the beginning till now. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what kind of crazy
off in a quick break. Others
wish I have
continuing to be
but I'm just thinking this is going to be horrible.
And we do appreciate all of you who are here each and every single day as we cover live breaking news,
I'm not going to do
events, press
CBS
conferences taking place across the country. We will continue to have you covered as soon as this press
him
conference
right there.
starts. We'll be in it here for you on Live Now from Fox.
Okay. All right.
And welcome back to all of
and
our
even if we miss something, we'll rewind
it
and play it. I
I
don't know how long it's going to be. It might be 2 minutes.
You did not miss a thing. We are going to now keep you in here until this press conference does get started. We've been trying to stay listening into this Zoom call that, again, is still in that right-hand box for you. You can see the name Dr.
WFLA has them up.
Why is that name popping up on your screen? Well, that's exactly who is going to be giving this press conference.
Do we need to switch over?
He has them on the other screen.
Teton.
Okay, hold on.
Let's just see.
Where the hell's the audio? There.
Mute icon. People who are very Zoom savvy know that he has not unmuted himself here yet. We'll perhaps wait.
You can make that bigger, Gray.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think he's now going to be muted or unmuting himself here in a moment, and you'll see some of the chat come in here as well. This is again just a raw Zoom call, but really, again, we're all listening here.
Well, thank you all for joining us. I am Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming Coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is filing the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of Wyoming is cause and manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear you. Just 1 second.
We can hear him.
It's pretty loud. Yeah, so I wonder if there was anything else. That's the cause of death, right? So he could have beat her after that, but they didn't know.
Should I start over then?
Cause and manner. That's what they give you.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is filing the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute.
Right.
And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
Hi, Brent. This is Alex with the News and Guide. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually determined more by law enforcement folks than than our office.
Chris, Vivian, you are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
Chris, I believe that you are muted. If you can unmute yourself.
Okay, it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on Discovery ID. Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby. With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement, and I cannot answer the question about the FBI. You would have to contact them.
Jeremy Kopis, you are now allowed to ask your question.
Yes, hello, doctor. If you could please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing, possibly older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing?
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
Hi there, this is Heather Lee, a reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be returned, and it was just a matter of making sure we had everything right.
Thank you.
Yeah, what question could you ask him that he would answer? He just said the only thing that he could answer was cause and manner, and that's it. See ya, that kind of thing. I mean,
is there another question?
Brian Enton.
There he goes.
I believe you're unmuted right now.
The guy that actually looked at the hand coming out of the garden.
Steve Fabian?
Yes, hi, doctor. How are you? I am curious if any DNA samples were taken from Gabby's remains, and also if the body was intact. Are you able to tell us the condition of Gabby's remains?
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, DNA wouldn't mean a damn thing, In this case, they were together all the time. I mean.
Yeah, so his DNA is everywhere.
Yeah, and
it will mean something if it was somebody else, allegedly.
Yeah. So that's important. I mean, I guess you can rule out
Vivian,
somebody else.
Do you have your hand up?
Sure.
Was that a question? I didn't hear the question there.
Dr. Blue?
Yes.
It's John Walsh again from In Pursuit with John Walsh. You will probably be the most important witness at the trial. And I asked you before how confident you feel that Brian Laundrie, and they use the semantics. He was a person of interest. I'm old school. He was the only suspect ever. And I just wonder, you're going to be the most important guy at the trial, probably. Do you have any doubts it's Brian Laundrie?
What's Walsh doing here?
Make any comment about
what a ridiculous question.
Any suspects, because we are not involved in that part of the investigation. We are only involved in the investigation of the body of the deceased. So who committed the homicide is really.
I mean, those are just ludicrous questions by Walsh, both of them.
Right, but I thank you for your hard work, and I always say in so many cases I've been involved in, let the pathologist and the coroner do their work no matter how long it takes. So I think you've probably done a really good job on this case. Thank you for your time.
I mean, it seems like he's just trying to get a plug in there or something. Like,
Hey, Doctor, this is Rochelle Aline with ABC Action News in Tampa. Just a quick question. Can you kind of walk us through the process to how you arrived at this specific manner of death?
In the state of Wyoming, there are 4 possibilities for the manner of death. They are homicide, suicide, accident, and natural. And those are the 4 choices. When we do an investigation, we look at the crime scene or the scene of the death, the scene of the body, the condition of the body, and findings at autopsy and toxicology. And that is how we arrive at the manner of death. So it really depends on lots of different circumstances.
Dr. Stephen Fabian again from Inside Edition. Can you tell us if the body was buried when it was discovered, or if the body was on the surface?
I can't tell you that. That's would be something you'd have to ask the FBI, because we're not allowed to release that information.
Yeah, so other things could have been done. Let's say he strangled her and then he wanted to make sure and hit her. Or maybe that's they didn't know what killed her at first.
Right.
But it turns out that she was dead before.
Do you have a question, Kelly Vaughn?
I don't know. I mean, strangulation is what I always thought originally, but after Walsh said that, but now I hear Walsh and I'm not sure.
We have Brian Enting in the chat who has a question. What's your question, Brian? Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
Well, certainly.
All I can really comment about that is that her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
KSL assignment, you were unmuted.
Sir, what question can we ask?
KSL assignment.
Right.
Hello, Dan Rascone here from KSL TV in Salt Lake. Dr. Blue, can you tell us at all whether or not was it believed that she was murdered there at that location, or is it any indication that her body was drugged there or taken there, or can you give us any indication there?
I can't comment on that. That would be something you'd have to speak with the law enforcement or the FBI.
Oh,
it's an open investigation. They can't answer any of that stuff.
Yeah. He's already said the only thing that he can say. Yeah, that's the thing.
Basically, sadly, yeah.
Matthew Sella?
Usually they can give a little bit more. Like if this
Hey,
was...
Dr. Blue, it's actually Jimmy from DailyMail.com in New York here.
Daily Mail.
What were the results of the toxicology report? And is there any suggestion that Gabby had any drugs in her system? And if so, what were they?
The results of the toxicology are not public knowledge by Wyoming Institute, so I can't comment about that.
Thank you.
No, she wasn't
We have a question from the chat. Was Gabby Petito pregnant?
She was not pregnant.
Ah, he did answer that. Interestingly.
Good. Good.
I like that he answered that because not answering it would
Thomas
fuel speculation.
Hi, Doctor. My question, did you seek the advice of a forensic entomologist or forensic botanist during the course of your investigation?
The FBI has sent materials to a forensic entomologist.
If this was Grady Judd, we'd hear a lot more.
WPBF 25 News.
Hi, Doctor. This is Terry Parker from WPBF in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm wondering if you said you were very thorough in this autopsy and examination. Could you give us an example of the type of test and analysis you performed?
This autopsy included a whole body CAT scan, a examination by a forensic pathologist, an examination by a forensic anthropologist, and toxicology evaluation. So we pretty much covered all the bases.
That lady sounded just like Paula Zahn.
Jeremy Kopis.
Yes, Doctor, thank you for taking the question again. You mentioned that strangulation is the cause of death. Can you talk about how you came to that conclusion?
I cannot. That is part of the autopsy findings and is not discoverable by Wyoming statute.
Was there any other cause of death that was a possibility in this case?
Well, we look at all causes, all possibilities when we try to determine cause of death, but this is the cause of death that we determined.
Right, but was there anything that was noticeable?
I have a question from chat.
That you thought maybe.
It is, was the manner of death obvious? Strangulation marks, bones, injured neck.
Nothing is obvious in a situation like this, so a detailed analysis was used both to determine manner and cause of death. I can't go into details on how we made those decisions.
Kristen Thorne.
Yes, hi, Doctor. Kristen Thorne with WABC in New York. Could you just please repeat about how long you believe the body was out there? Unfortunately, the last time you spoke, we just didn't get a good film shot of you saying that. Would you mind repeating that?
Our initial determination is the body was in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Jorge Fitzgibbon.
Have you thought of changing the statutes there?
That's
you have to unmute. I believe you're still muted.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Dr. Blue. Relating back to the date of death, is there a date listed on the death certificate?
The death certificate has not been completed at this time, and the death certificates of the state of Wyoming allow for approximate dates and variability in those dates. So I doubt, well, there will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate.
Yeah, there's no way.
It'll be between the 27th and 30th.
Hi, Doctor. This is Eileen LaPalmer from News 12. We sort of asked it a little bit, but is there a way that you can explain how you know that it was strangulation? Sometimes I know that a hyoid bone could be missing. Is that something that you discovered in this case?
But broken.
I can't comment on that.
It doesn't do a dissection.
Finding of the autopsy, and as I stated before, in the state of Wyoming, the autopsy results are not public knowledge.
No.
So then you can't clarify whether it was manual strangulation or with an item, correct?
That's correct.
Man, think of how different it was 50 years ago. I mean, man, they had every single detail.
Michael Ruiz.
Thanks for making time for us, Doctor. Was the entire examination conducted at your lab in Jackson, or was Gabby Petito's body shipped to another facility?
The examination was done entirely at our ward in Teton County, Wyoming.
Anna Gregorio.
Oh, that's
Gregorio.
me.
It's actually Ashley Banfield with News Nation. Doctor, thank you for taking the time today. Can I ask you if, from the very beginning of your process, was it obvious that the cause, not the manner, that the cause was strangulation and that you just needed this time to prove it out? Or were you completely unaware from the beginning what the cause of death was for Gabby Petito and had to resolve through a number of puzzle-solving manners and other experts to arrive at that final cause determination?
In a situation like this, nothing is obvious, and so the cause of death required investigation.
We have a William Walke.
Hey there, Dr. Blue. My name is Will. I'm from KHOL Jacksonville Community Radio here in Jackson. You're a small town coroner here in Western Wyoming. This case got so much national attention, as we can see right now. Can you speak on what it was like doing your job with such a big spotlight on you? Thanks.
Well, it was quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths did not get as much coverage as this one.
Can I get an amen for that comment?
Because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than others. But there are a lot of both men and women who have lost their lives that aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
Thank you, sir.
Francis DeFiore.
Yes, hello. This is Francis DeFiore from the Port Charlotte Sun. I just want to
go back to my previous question, although I imagine your response. Is there anything you can tell us about how exactly you determined it was a 3 to 4 week period before death?
I can't go into that kind of information at this time.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Folks, this is JB Buno on WFLA Now. We're going to go back to the Zoom call here in just a second. We do have an update from the attorney of Brian Laundrie. Stephen Bertolino has issued a statement that's coming up here next.
All right. Here, let's go back
We
to
have the snack squad.
Where's the volume?
Hey, this is Andy Mercado from Mercado Media. Could you go over the length of time the autopsy report took? And thank you for your time, Dr. Blue.
Well, the length of time was involved in the sense that we received a report from the investigating and examining forensic pathologist. We had a report done by our anthropologist, and we had toxicology studies that were done in addition to the report from the radiologic studies. So all these came together, and that's what took time for us to complete this investigation.
Hi, Doctor. Could you speak to the state of decomposition, and did that at all hinder your investigation?
No, I can't comment on that.
Dr. Blue, would you like to take any more questions?
Unless there's other specific questions that haven't been answered already, why don't we close this? And thank you all very much for your participation. And I can tell you that I will not be answering any other detailed questions about the autopsy. As I said, state statute prevents us from doing that. So contacting me by email and phone is not going to reveal any.
Oh, come on. You can tell me, though, right? Come on.
Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
That's what they hope for.
Yeah.
Dr. Blue, I have one more question.
Okay.
Is there a way to determine if this was accidental or deliberate?
No.
Well, strangulation
You mean
means
in the sense of a homicide?
she didn't strangle herself. Okay.
Yes.
What a dumb question. That was the last one.
That would be up to law enforcement to make that determination.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Again, thank you all very much for your time.
He was like, wow, that was the last question?
Wait, what?
Whoa.
So strangling somebody is very intimate. Takes a while. That's the one I was hoping was not the cause.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, want to listen to some of, see what's going on in this channel?
Dr. Blue, I have one more question.
Oh God, we got to hear that.
Is there a way to determine
Yeah,
if
they were a
this
little
was
bit behind. That's why.
accidental or
The
deliberate?
attorney made a statement.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear him. I don't want to stream him.
You mean in the sense of a homicide?
But if you can find the statement. Then.
Yes.
I can find it.
That would be up to law enforcement to make that determination.
That's probably on Twitter or something.
Great.
I'll get it.
I know you will. I know it.
Thank you all very much for your time.
Okay, you ready?
You got the statement? Okay.
All right,
Yes.
so getting that.
Got it. I thought it would take a minute, but I mean.
I'm
okay.
quick, I tell you. Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the pending fraud charges against him.
Yeah. I think it's weird that there's people out there that try to figure out how can we figure out a way to defend him. You know, like we always get these cases. There's probably people trying to make it seem like he's not involved. Look at, if he's not involved, then I think chasing's an alien. All right. I mean, it's like, well, God, you know what? Hold on a second. No, but here's the thing: is it's like there's almost no chance that he's not involved.
No,
Like,
because you know they're saying clearly it was 3 to 4 weeks ago, right? So we're putting it between the 24th and the 30th. Those are, if you count back, that's exactly what it is. So it's between the 24th and 30th, somewhere in there. And we know there was some contact made after the 24th. So our best guess, and they can put an estimate on it, is the 27th to the 30th.
Yeah, but it's also everything else, you know. Like he hitchhiking, doesn't want somebody to go near his car. He goes all the way back without her, doesn't say a word. You know, I mean, those kind of things are absolutely, you know.
I think he said a lot of words, but I think that they hired an attorney so that those words don't become public.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that he didn't tell his parents something. Who knows what he told his parents, but I don't know to what extent his parents are involved in this situation.
You know, I'm glad that he put to bed the rest about her being pregnant. Remember the whole ultrasounds on the log? Remember on the road, those ultrasounds that were sitting there?
Lord help
People believed it, though. That's the scary part.
People did believe it. There have been rumors floating around for, 2 weeks that she was pregnant, that he killed her and the baby. And I'm thinking,
yeah, no.
What is this? Now, the news media, they're asking probing questions, hoping that maybe this guy messes up. But I mean, it's their state. They can't say a word. So they're just hoping he says that one thing that they can run with in the news media to get it on their channel, and he's a smart guy. He didn't say anything. But strangulation, that last question, was it accidental or intentional?
Yeah, no.
No, I never heard of anybody.
And it was homicide. It's homicide by strangulation. Okay?
Yeah.
So that means that another person strangled, it's really obvious. But if you said that, well, she died of asphyxiation, and it wouldn't matter. They might not be able to even call it a homicide because maybe there was a situation where it was asphyxiation or whatever the hell it is, where you try to strangle yourself. But it was homicide. That means somebody else caused the death.
Homicide. He killed her.
Yeah. So it was one of those.
So no, he can't give the date. He said her body was left outdoors for 3 to 4 weeks, which brings it back to the 24th to the 30th. She had contact with people after the 24th. So we're estimating, and Wyoming allows you to estimate 27th to 30th, somewhere in there. But they haven't finished the death certificate yet. So they'll have to...
Well, what would be interesting, though, is I think they are more specific because they did go out to lunch at 1 o'clock that day. If she got killed on the 27th at 6 or 7, right around that time we see the door shut on the van, then she'd still have food in her system. And if she was killed, then all of the, the digestion stops, and there would have been... They could figure out what she ate at that restaurant, and was that still in her system? If it was the next day, it wouldn't be in there anymore.
Right. Makes sense. So they could, and because it is an open investigation still at this point, there is a lot. He kept saying, well, you have to ask law enforcement. You got to talk to the FBI. So they're not going to give us all of that information just yet. But we know for sure it's homicide, and now we know it's strangulation.
Homicide, strangulation, not pregnant is really all we got out of that.
And not pregnant, yeah. My best friend when we were little, very close friend anyway, Christine Payton, her name was, her ex-boyfriend. Hadn't been together in a while. He got out of jail. He said, hey, can I stay here tonight? I'm going to leave in the morning to go to New York. And she said, okay. Well, he went through her stuff while she was asleep. And there was a letter in there to another guy from when he was in prison. She never mailed the letter. It was just in her drawer. And he strangled her to death. It's a very intimate thing to do.
Yeah, it takes 3 minutes, 3 or 4 even, of just constantly holding pressure. You have to be really angry. Or
that's what he said when we had to go to court and go through the murder trial and all of that. He called the police on himself, and he said, "Oh, I think I just killed my girlfriend." She's not your girlfriend. And he did it in front of my godson, no less, who was 2.5 years old.
Oh, wow.
But he said, I was just so angry. And I tried to stop myself, but I couldn't.
And if
that's, you think about strangulation, you've really got to just be, God, what do you do? Because you can let go at any time.
Right. That means there wasn't a moment of like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. See, there also could be a point where he's strangling her, and then a minute in, he wants to stop, but he goes, I can't now because there's going to be marks on her. She's going to go say something to somebody, and but here's the thing is, now strangulation is what I originally always thought until Walsh came out and said
beating.
Yeah. So, but I always thought maybe it was strangle and beating, and we still don't know if that's it. But how did they get out there? Because that was one of the things. Like, yeah, that is kind of weird. 300 yards, carrying 100 and something pounds of dead weight. If she was already strangled, or did he?
Was she already strangled?
Yeah, that's the thing. Or did they walk out there and he killed her during a ruse, or did she try to run from him maybe to get away and she caught up to him?
Yeah, she may have, it may have been another thing where he's telling her, get away from me so we can, calm down or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he, maybe they were walking through there. Maybe he just said, let's just talk. Who knows? I mean, now the police footage is so relevant of their stop, the traffic stop issue, the fighting, the domestic issue. Because you can see, when they said, did he hit you? She said, well, I hit him first. I think she was covering. She didn't want him to get in trouble.
But when you see her, though, even when she's standing there, she doesn't have a lot of marks on her.
No.
I mean anywhere.
But they were in public, in front of other people who were watching them.
Yeah. See, so I think here's the thing is like that day when they got in that argument was probably the first time that it spilled into the public on the 12th. Like, it would be stuff behind the scenes and this and that, and then it just spilled over there, and then it just got even worse at that lunch that day, and then he's even arguing, running back in. I mean, just acting really psycho, and I think that's sort of like the snapping moment was like, I don't know how to explain it.
A huge argument when they got back.
Yeah, right after that, because she went in and didn't defend him. She was apologizing for his behavior.
She was probably embarrassed over whatever it was that he was doing in that restaurant.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't feel like she had his back, and it was very disrespectful on top of all the other stuff. And I was the battered boyfriend syndrome, and like all these things that are really, in his mind, were degrading. And so they're out there, and it really kind of freaks me out a little bit, like with the door shutting. Like, what was going on? Because that is shutting. I didn't think that at the very beginning, but now I absolutely 100%. And it's right at that specific time, like, what was it, 6:30, something like that? I can't remember exactly when that van was.
It was evening, yeah.
Yeah, and it's strange.
When they got back.
Because you see,
and it looks like they're the type to just go back and forth so that people will understand what they're saying. So she'd, no, Brian, I wasn't saying this. Yes, you were. No, you can tell. Like, if Scott and I argue, it's like, oh my God, shut up. And then he just leaves me alone, and then I leave him alone, and I come up one floor and he stays down there like normal people. But it seemed to me that they are, especially him, and maybe because of her anxiety, she just had to keep going so that she could be understood. Yeah. And to a certain point, it becomes too much. And he seemed like he wanted to be right.
Yeah. Hey, I was going to say, hey, Cootie Pie, we just answered that question. It was a dumb question, no matter how it was asked, because he said it was homicide.
Homicide, yeah.
And it was a strangulation. That means somebody else strangled her. Okay.
Right.
So there isn't, she wasn't trying. If she was trying to get at what you're saying here, that's why it's a dumb question, because.
Well, because they had already let out several days ago that it was homicide.
Yeah.
So that's why Gray was saying, well, that's a dumb question. because homicide means somebody else killed her.
And today he said that too. He said it's homicide and it's strangulation. Homicide is when somebody else, suicide's killing yourself. Homicide is somebody else causing the death of another. Right.
Yeah.
So,
And, you know, I think a lot of it was just them trying to get that one soundbite that they could go run with, like they've done this entire case so far.
yeah, well, that's what Walsh was
The
just
one
doing.
thing. So,
I mean, Walsh right there, he, you know, I kind of lost a little bit of like, yeah, man, that was lame. You know, he was just really.
what day was the door, Gray? Do you know? Do you remember? It was the 27th, right?
Yeah, it was
The
the
door?
27th, just 5 hours or so after that lunch argument.
Oh, they're absolutely SSS. There was a door opening and closing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't think so at first, but man, after getting the HD version, and it's just really obvious. It's even slow. It looks exactly like it does when it's pulled over on the 12th from one camera angle, the door, the way it's
Can you
shut.
show that video, Gray? The HD video? Can you pull that up somewhere?
Yeah, man, I don't know where that is by now. Like really quickly.
It's yours, right? It's your video.
Yeah. I mean, I made my own version of it. I have like, let me see if I open up Premiere if I can find it.
I can probably find it faster than you.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to. I mean, somebody else made a video, and I don't like doing other videos. I guess, but I mean, if you can find the one, I can just and send me a link. There's one out there that I'll just play that portion of it, I guess. But. Yeah.
Do it now.
Why do you believe that, Deb White? That Brian's dad is a woman beater just because everybody hates him, or we have no clue what his dad does?
I got it. Hold on. Copy. There you go. I'm coming over to Facebook.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh,
Somebody said Brian's dad is a woman beater.
Oh, that was.
But there definitely was a person in.
Oh, that's the original one. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta mute it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the original?
No.
No.
That's
I only picked ones that are in 4K too, so.
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Yeah,
there was a lot of abuse in my home, and I don't abuse anybody.
Okay, this is Nerve.
So it's
Nerve. This is
not
Nerve
always
Gorilla.
learned.
This is Nerve Gorilla. Okay, I did the exact same video on my channel, but you can see it back there. I mean, the door's open. Okay, so if you played it,
There it is, right there. The door's open.
it's really obvious, and it opens exactly where it should open. You just can't see part of the van on the right. You can actually see it behind the tree there. See right
Mhm.
there? So it's exactly the same, and so it's opening up right in the middle, and then look how it shuts slowly. Watch. That's not a tree. It's not the ladder. That's
No,
the door shut.
It's the door closing.
Yeah.
Because the car is approaching, so he closes the door.
Right.
For sure.
So I'll put this guy's.
I didn't believe it at first either. I was like, oh my God, the conspiracies, the doors, they're
Yeah.
open and closed,
Yeah.
whatever, shut up. And then I went and watched it, zoomed it, and was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I'll put the link on their sources if you want to go check it
Don't
out.
be ignorant. The cycle of abuse is real and generational. Not always. Not always. Abuse is not always a learned behavior. Violence is not always a learned behavior. It's absolutely untrue.
Yeah. Okay. But by the way, can you guys?
Oftentimes it is, but not always.
Can you guys hit the like button really quick? We got 861 and 300 and something likes. Don't make me do it.
Don't make him do it.
Don't make me hit the auctioneer sound, okay? We need you to hit that like button. Keep hitting it, hitting it, hitting it, hitting it. Oh, I almost did it myself. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
Shit. Come on, you guys.
Not always. Oh, I'm sorry. You must think you're in somebody else's chat, sweetie. You can't talk to me like that. Bye-bye. Okay.
What happened?
See you.
Jeez.
Nothing. we'll move right along.
It's weird how people come in here and they try to tell you how to do something.
You know, when somebody's covering Gabby,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people, they just think that you can just come in and say whatever you want. You can't.
Yeah, no, we're not like that here.
It doesn't work like that over here.
And either on either of our own channels, it doesn't work like that. You just
No.
don't show up and start, hey, do this. Yeah, no.
No.
That's probably, that might even be the last thing you even said on here when you said something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. That's so silly. So some are inclined to violent impulses. I agree with that. I think, this just goes to show, and I mean, I know it's such a silly thing to say because it should be so obvious, but the stuff we see on social media is just, most of the time, you're not even seeing the truth, right? Because they were absolutely Instagram perfect. Everything looked perfect. And what was going on behind the scenes was completely different.
I'm wondering what it was, I would love to just know the actuality of it all. Like,
yeah.
Was it just sort of this mental abuse stuff where they're just bickering back and forth? And then it sort of started becoming physical a little bit.
The sister did say that. The sister said, there was bickering and, there might have been a little of this, but it wasn't abuse. And if I had ever seen that, I would have stopped it immediately. I think she said something to the effect of, don't quote me, like Gabby would, smack him or something, but nothing that she ever considered abusive.
But she said she would smack him.
I'd have to listen again. I'm sure the chat knows.
Well, she'd have something to. I mean, her statements. I don't know. I just wish I could be a fly on a wall back in time and see how it was. You can pick up on little subtleties. I always noticed that one part where he was doing the yoga, with quotes around it.
Yeah.
She just looked like, oh, what a load of crap almost when she was talking about that. Like it just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She her dad said, she was no novice. She prepared for this for over a year. She had a plan. She knew what she wanted to do, and this is something she really wanted, and that makes it even worse. She was just trying to start up her blog and her website and get things going with this new adventure.
Yeah.
And sadly, she picked the wrong person to go with.
Yeah, so.
She definitely did.
I mean, I guess if we're just looking at this again, that's where the van was parked right there, and, they made it all the way over here, right exactly where this the green pin is right there. Somebody else sent that one, but it definitely wasn't right there. Let me see. There's actually better, like that's a better one, because that's about what it looked like with the water. So it's over here, hidden in these trees. But that's just a long ways to go with somebody dead, 110 pounds, 300 yards. Or let's just say 105 or something.
Yeah. It is. That's why I thought, it's not really realistic if you look at the real view of that, to have walked that far with her, even alive. They're walking through this wilderness area.
But he definitely could have dragged her over there somehow.
Sure.
Just grabbed her legs and like a wheelbarrow, just walked. Doesn't matter. He didn't give a shit what he was dragging her over, and then put her over there. And then maybe that's where some scraping happened, and maybe there's a little bit of blood here and there leading up to the spot. Even though you're not pumping blood, it would kind of come out if like a wound was opened up or something.
There's no way to drive through that area, right?
Down where that van is, it sort of looks like it's not if you go right here, if you look at the elevation, right there, it's 7054, and it's almost the same. I mean, it really doesn't drop at all from the road, and it looked like there was kind of an opening, but I don't know. if he would do that. It doesn't look like they don't have a big enough clearance. Maybe it was a Jeep or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Somebody said it was planned. I don't know. I don't think so. It just doesn't, you know.
So people ask what we think about the parents.
He might not even have been. She might not have been alive when the van got there. That might have been where his dumping ground of the van was going to be, and then put her somewhere.
Yeah, it could have not been none of this. It could have been done elsewhere.
Yeah,
right?
after lunch, and then that's where he took her.
We have no idea.
And I think it's possible she's still in that van during that video, and whether she's alive or not, we don't know. But during the video that was taken with the door shutting, she might still be alive. I think she might be dead in the back, possibly alive. But and then he went back later to move her. I think that might be why he came back on the 29th, moved her, and then he knew he needed to take the van, because then it would have led right to where she was at that point.
Yeah.
And because his other plan was going to be to leave her in the van and make it look like he went somewhere and somebody killed her, but he goes, hell, that's not going to work. He was all over the place. We all know that.
When that couple filmed the door, there was so people are asking, were they camping out there? What was going on? As far as I know, there was nothing in this little area there. They were parked in an area that is not set for camping. So they hadn't had their tents and those things out as far as I know. I think that's why Gray's saying it could have happened somewhere else. Didn't they say that they drove by this? Another lady did. I don't know what her name was.
Oh, she didn't see it?
No, that she did see it.
Oh,
that
okay.
they saw it it was there for a couple of days, this van.
Oh, like after the 27th? Or
yeah.
Well,
Do
it
you
should have
guys
been.
remember that?
Well, it would be, right? Because he had to get back to it on the 29th. So she would have seen it, and it would have just been nothing going on in it. But she could have been in the back of that van and completely hidden me, because there's no windows, right?
Right. What do you think about the parents, Gray?
I'd hope parents wouldn't be like them, in terms of, not sharing information when you know somebody's missing out there. But we don't know what he told them. I think they're way overly criticized and harsh on. I mean, really. I think it's too much. Like, people, 24-hour vigils outside the house throwing laundry baskets. Just leave them the hell alone, okay? They're not going to tell you anything because you put a laundry basket on their yard.
No, you're just pissing them off.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they're less likely. They're like, screw you, So
I'm totally with the people who were mad initially.
Yeah,
because,
that's what I feel like.
The parents, Gabby's parents, all of them had been trying to reach out to these people. And at that point, that was prior, to all of this Brian madness. And they ignored them. To me, that's extremely cold, And when the police go to the door looking for Brian, they hand him a friggin' letter from a lawyer.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk. So to me, it's ice cold, man.
I thought all that stuff really sucked. I just think but right now, this is all the stuff being done is for like views and publicity and like clout.
Well, sure.
These people sitting in lawn chairs outside the house with binoculars.
It's weird.
Bullhorns. You look like a total dipshit. Okay, so anybody out there,
never going to tell them anything. They're never going to tell them a word.
Don't support that crap. And if you do, shame on you. When you sit there watching for hours somebody staring at the house, what a joke.
No, I don't watch any of that because I think about this. Let's say Brian never told them that he killed Gabby. He may not have ever said those words. Who the hell knows what this kid told the parents?
Yeah, they might not know.
But the parents immediately got a lawyer. So he told them something. He didn't just say we got into an argument and they were like, oh my God, we need a lawyer.
Yeah.
So they know something. So do they deserve a level of pressure? Absolutely. By the FBI, by law enforcement. You know, the media and people aren't going to make them do shit. They don't care about that.
Yeah.
The FBI is scary. The FBI is scary. People leaving laundry baskets. You know, did you see there were like 12 of them?
Yes.
And
Ridiculous.
they come out and run them off the lawn. I'm going, what the hell's happening here? And then I got it. You know, I didn't get it at first. I'm like, why are they leaving fucking laundry baskets? Oh, Brian Laundry.
Yeah.
So dumb. Why? Thanks, Paisley.
Yeah, just think how crazy that is.
Truly, I just saw a clip of him in the dark picking up a bunch of baskets. I'm going, why are there 100 laundry baskets on this man's lawn?
That's when I saw. I didn't know what he was doing at first, and then I could see that there were little laundry baskets, and it was like.
I mean, they've got signs up there. They've got lawn chairs, honey. It's the whole situation. It's the whole situation. And the coroner said it himself. There are so many victims out here. They don't get anything. They don't get any of this coverage.
Yeah.
And here we are with this situation. G Money, is Brian now wanted for murder? No. That is not up to the coroner to do. The police will make the decision on what to do next now. I mean, he's the only person that we know of that was with Gabby, unless they have evidence in some way, the DNA but like Gray said, his DNA is going to be all over her because they were together constantly in a van together. He must know that. Let's imagine the 1 in 10 million chance that it's not Brian, and he left her there for a while and he came back and somebody had killed her, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's going down no matter what.
Yeah, but then he went and he saw her dead body and he grabbed her credit card so he could use them.
Exactly.
Yeah, see,
That's
who
what I'm
does
saying.
all
1
this
in
stuff?
10 million, right?
Yeah. Everything that he did points to guilt. And as a matter of fact, I think if you had a trial, it would be one of just the most incredibly strongest circumstantial cases. If they're, because forensic evidence is going to be tough because there was no eyewitness. Any DNA that's on her body that's his, totally explainable. They lived in the same freaking van together. I mean, there's touch DNA all over both of them from both people. If you could somehow prove if it was manual strangulation, does his grip fit exactly? But heck, that's probably really tough too because people hold, you could hold it differently.
Right.
And then if there was an actual ligature used, well, where is that? What was it? Was it something from the van? We don't know. Probably wasn't left there. Now, one thing at the crime scene, if you find his DNA, that's very damning. If somewhere, not on her, but on a rock, any sort of blood that might be his, something at that crime scene that's not on her physical body, that is considered not to be touch DNA, perhaps, that would be very damning. Like probably just a blood source that's his. That's what they're looking for. Yeah, and then there you go, maybe under fingernails, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense if she scratched him like that.
I don't think they're ever going to find the guy. I really don't.
Yeah?
No.
Wow, so there's going to be these channels that are still covering it in 3 years, 24/7.
Maybe. I don't know. I have zero faith at this point.
Yeah.
How long have we been looking for Brian? What day did we start looking for him?
I think it was around the probably 15th, 16th, 17th.
Oh, was it that late? No. So we're 4 weeks in, about.
Well, the 11th is when she was reported missing, but the media and people weren't really looking for him until, remember, just later in that week when the parents said, well...
That was like the 16th, yeah. So maybe the 16th. So in another 4 days, we're at 30 days. I don't think he's alive. And, you know, I can't imagine he's brave enough to get into a swamp and let crocodiles eat him. You know, maybe he stole the prescription from his parents or so. Who knows, really? I'm not really sure what he did. I don't know.
And suicide would be more...
He's really, really good. He might be really good at surviving out there. He might be.
Yeah, suicide might be more of a snapping reaction, too.
Yeah.
You know, that's something you feel, you know, like you felt bad about. And he just wanted to get home to mommy after killing her. He was trying to figure out what to do, and he just said, screw it. I'm going to go back home. Maybe, you know, see my parents. And I don't know.
I find it really weird, you know, if nobody asked him, where's Gabby?
Thanks, Emily. Thank you, Emily.
They asked the sister, you know, is no conversation? No. Now that doesn't make sense. You know you're lying, Aussie.
Right. The sister's definitely lying when she says when they went, she got there and she was there for 6 hours or something at the park with them.
And it never came up.
And she never, not one time did she ask about Gabby. I mean, really, you wouldn't say, hey, where's Gabby? You know, I mean, you lived with her for a year. She's his fiance, and you're not even going to ask. That's
and your kids
total
loved
bullshit.
her.
Yeah.
There's no way. So that's a lie, right?
And then you ask yourself, well, why would she be lying about that? Why would you got to ask at that point? Why did she lie about that then? Because she doesn't want to have to answer any questions about what he might have said too. Like he might have said and came up with this cockamamie, you know, crazy story, but she doesn't want to repeat that.
She knows better. Her parents are not talking to her. The lawyer, you know, isn't representing her. So I think they're just trying to keep her out of it, possibly. You know, maybe they want her to just shush and not know anything. If she doesn't know anything, she can't say anything. So
I think most of what she said was somewhat, you know, pretty believable. I just think that part wasn't. I don't know. What do you think?
She said that they weren't close. They barely talked, but in 3 weeks, she saw him 3 times. That's a little weird to me.
Yeah, she's trying to distance
Talk to this kid, but you're running right over, and he's coming to pick up your kids from school as a big surprise, but he doesn't have Gabby with him. Also weird.
Yeah.
You know, you're not questioning him. What are you doing? Why are you here? Why are you home from your trip? During the time that he flew home.
Yeah, that's right.
Why are you here,
17th
Brian?
or 23rd, yeah.
Because remember, if he was only coming home to move items, whether from the storage unit to it, whatever, they asked her, oh, did you see him during that trip? Yep. But this is somebody you're not close to, you don't talk to all the time, and he's here for a random trip to do something, and you see him and talk to him during that time too.
Well, maybe it was a long time.
I don't buy it.
Well, it could have been. He's been gone for months, though, right? So maybe it was one of these things like, oh, he's back in town. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but that was only a couple of weeks before the first when he got back. So again, the mother brings Brian to surprise the kids and pick them up from school. Well, you just saw Brian. He was just here when he flew home. Then you saw him again when you went camping.
Yeah.
You just saw him 2 times. So to me, I just think that she's trying to protect her little family unit and stay out of it. I don't know anything. Nobody told me anything.
Probably planning going on. You know, it seems like she went there like she was saying goodbye on the 6th because she's just there for 6 hours. But then they stay another night where the final plans are made, right?
Yep. Well, she said, we didn't even know Gabby was missing yet. We had no idea. We didn't know the band was here. We didn't know Gabby was missing yet. Yeah. So to her, she didn't think it was odd.
Yeah, he might have said, I mean, this is a possibility. He might have told them that she's with that friend in California because that's where she was supposed to go. And he might have said, well, she just wanted to go there and said, why don't you go home and I'll fly back or something. I mean, that's mildly believable, right? And he puts the stickers on the car to make it look like he went there. Or, well, no, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, he was all over the place in his brain because he put 3 stickers on the car after the video on the 27th that was taken with the door shutting.
Right.
And one of them's to California, and 2 are to other places. And there's a reason now that he put those on, because she's not alive when he put those on there.
Right.
So that's weird, right? Now those stickers, the meaning of the stickers it doesn't mean anything. It's what he was trying to sell as the van being with those stickers. And I just think he was all over the place. I think he was even thinking of leaving the van there on the 29th again with the stickers on there.
Yeah, I mean, he's hitchhiking all over the place. He doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, you can see in the van's there. His flip-flops are directly in front of the van. He's obviously in there. He's doing something at that point. So my biggest issue, those parents handed the police the attorney's letter.
Regarding the parents.
Knows something. Yeah. If your son witnessed something horrific, you don't come up with an attorney note. You don't do that. You tell everything that you know to help catch the person. Where do you think they went between the 2 camping dates?
Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the thing is, what matters now is that the van was, it was there on the 27th, and that's where he went back to on the 29th. So that means that, he took off, right? I'm not sure what it would matter where it was in between the.
Yeah, now it doesn't, Jabberjaws, really, because we know that the final time that van was anywhere that matters, that's connected to Gabby, was right there, because that's her final resting place. And, they recorded that video, and there's his shoes, him closing the van. Either her body was already out there, or it was still sitting in that van with him.
And they were at a restaurant just earlier in the day, just prior to that. Almost none of it matters anymore. Like, he apparently did do the flying. That was been verified. Mm-hmm. And I guess he went home to take the items out of a storage unit and put it into the house.
Right.
Because they were going to be gone longer than they thought, apparently. And they didn't want to pay the storage unit costs, which is weird because those don't cost very much. It's like.
No, they don't. Marge says, chasing on Dr. Phil, the parents said she was found by a fire ring and a clearing where they thought that they had a tent pitched. That comes from the stepdad. And that's totally possible. Maybe on the 27th, he doesn't do anything to her. And they stay overnight there, and they get into an argument the next morning. We really don't know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day now, right? So Gabby's being put to rest. We know what the autopsy says. We know that she wasn't pregnant. There is nothing left in this story except when will they find Brian, and how quickly can they get a case together to prosecute the guy, right? Gabby's story, sadly, is over. Her story is no more now.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of lives on is the publicity that's helping other cases. And I think that it's sort of sad. Yeah, it's cool, but it's also sad that
it's really sad.
That's what takes, another case. And a lot of these cases are being covered not because, it shed light on it. It's because these organizations feel guilty for putting so much time into Gabby that they'll just find, look at these other ones, and let's do this one.
They're trying not to look like hypocrites now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they're doing it.
Called them out on it.
Yeah, exactly. So as soon as this whole thing is over, it goes right back to the same garbage.
Right back to normal.
Yeah.
It's smart, and it's also really sad that other families are having to latch on to Gabby's name just to get a little fraction of the attention that we're paying to the Gabby Petito story. It is very sad, and that's why you want the story to last a bit, right? I do want the story to last a bit because people are being smart with social media.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna need to be a little bit more open with some information to keep it really going in the larger media, though. Like this, you can't have what this guy was doing today. I mean, this is like, that doesn't do anything. I mean, everybody kind of knew everything he said. Rational-minded people thought about. You know, like it is. We already knew it was a homicide. Strangulation was very likely part of it, and rational people. Well, she could have been pregnant, but it definitely wasn't reality when people were saying, "Look, it's a what is that called? What are those called? The those images, the
ultrasounds."
Yeah, ultrasounds on a log right next to. I mean, what a joke!
People are crazy.
Yeah, that's like debunked.
It's very much like the Jelani Day situation. There was a news article put out on Jelani from the Chicago Sun-Times.
I read that yesterday.
It was very emotional. You know, I read it. I thought about putting it out. And I said, you know, something's off here. I'm not going to put it out. I have it saved right here on my phone. I recorded it sitting in my backyard, reading the whole thing. And I said, you know, something's not right with this story. So I went to the Justice for Jelani page, and his mother was on there and said there was no organ harvesting. Okay. There was a discrepancy between the first and the second autopsy. We need to stick to the facts here. And I said, oh gosh, you know, she's got to come out and tell people this. It's everywhere. It flew through Facebook.
And I knew that. Well, I actually went over that exact article on my show, but I said the whole time ago, this right here is probably an absolutely biased article here, and they're trying to push the organ harvesting angle by saying stuff like, you know, there was no some kind of no brain or something, you know, all these different things. Like nobody harvests a brain anyways, by the way.
No, I believe that they, during the first autopsy, they may have taken it out to whatever they're doing. I don't know what they do during an autopsy.
Yeah, and also you liquefy. It's called autolysis. Your body inside through decomposition almost completely liquefies. He was gone, missing for a month in the water. Okay, so he was highly decomposed, and the whole part about mom wanting to see him, is that a real thing? It's like, are you
Absolutely,
really, but does she really want to see? Would you want to? I mean, in that condition, wouldn't you want to remember your? I think they're trying to protect her a little bit.
I think that they were trying to protect her, but when you're a mama and that's your baby, you have to know for sure. So I understood that part.
Yeah.
And I mean, the article was very emotional. It made me really sad.
Yeah.
And I think that was the intent of it. I agreed with everything that they said, but I knew they were leading people down the path of organ harvesting. And I was just thinking, this family has had enough injustice. They don't need this. What are we doing here?
Yeah. So the parts on that case that were you know, it's the distance between the place where the car was found and where he was found. He could have parked closer. And they also were inaccurate in the article. They said 3 miles. Not the article, an interview. It was only like a mile. But he could have parked closer. And then it's just, I want to know if he was dressed when he was in the water. What about you?
Yeah, somebody said that there were clothes. I'm not really sure what was going on there either. Sorry, I'm checking my phone.
I need to know if he was dressed in the water. If he's nude in the water, then it's a homicide, in my opinion, because that means there's nobody would walk a mile nude down the street to go jump off a bridge.
No,
right?
I agree.
And why would you be nude anyways, jumping off? You know, so if he's found nude, then I think it's going to be a homicide. If not, then it's still, you know, it's still weird, some of the information, but
a lot of it was really weird. I thought the same until I saw it with my own eyes. Yeah. I don't think she wanted to see her son that way, but I think she needed to know for your own mind, you know, it plays tricks on you. Additionally, they told her that body wasn't Jelani, you know, they said it wasn't him. And then they come back and say, no, it was him. So now you're thinking, well, maybe it isn't him.
Yeah.
But his grandmother did get to see him, and another family member saw him. So.
And they were able to verify? How were they able to tell? Because you don't even have a face or a scalp, it said.
He didn't have his eyes. He didn't have his jaw. I don't know.
What a nightmare. God, I would never, I mean, ugh, God.
Really, really, really sad situation. I don't know. I
That's a weird mental battle to say to yourself, I need to verify this, but my last vision is going to haunt me for the rest of my life, right?
Of course, yeah.
So I would have almost been like, well, can we do a DNA on a different lab, and it's just.
Well, I mean, that's the bad part too. They had the dental, then they took his tibia, then they're calling him back, then he's rude to her. That's this poor mother. The whole world needs to be wrapping their arms around her, because that's unacceptable. I don't know. It's a very sad story. And because of hashtag Gabby Petito, people were able to find out about Jelani.
And he's in a fraternity too, right?
Was Jelani in a fraternity?
Or something? It seemed like there was some kind of a comment.
He was in graduate school.
It seemed like there was a comment about, like, they said that his fraternity brothers or somebody said that he was depressed. Or was that's not the other case? Yeah, I thought I just saw that. I know that was the other one too, but I thought I just read that yesterday. I don't know. I'm not the. Yeah, see, Louisiana girl said, yeah, he was, and they said he was acting. Hell, yeah. I'm gonna have to go find that again, because I think it was just last night that I read this. Wouldn't that be weird?
His mother said he was not depressed.
She said that, but here's the thing: if there are these fraternity brothers saying that, then that could be a similar situation again or something. I mean, because you're claiming he was depressed to sell the story of a suicide. But something else might have happened. Maybe he went to that dispensary for a reason.
Possibly.
I mean, he went to the dispensary to buy something, right? So did he buy that for, was there a party later? I guess we don't really know what he bought at the cannabis place. Okay, he was in a fraternity. Where's the bracelet?
Yeah, he was in a fraternity, the Omega Psi Phi fraternity at Alabama A&M. So it's the new Epsilon.
Yeah, does anybody remember what they said? Didn't they say that he was like depressed or something? Too. I mean, I know this matches the other story that we've been talking about too. But.
Yeah, they have a petition. I know that they started a petition, and it does not say. I don't see anything. I don't know. Perhaps you did read that somewhere, but.
Yeah, I mean, I admit that I could be conflating something, but I remember now that people are saying that he was in a fraternity.
Yes.
I think I did hear the right thing or read it. I just don't remember exactly the moment. Yes,
he wasn't depressed. He didn't have any kind of pressures that would ever make him want to escape from his life.
I
feel like someone was involved.
That's where it was. It was in chat last night during the show. Somebody typed in, I don't remember who said it. They said that people in the fraternity said he was depressed. And then I thought, well, I guess. First I kind of was like, oh, come on, But then I was thinking, well, what if it was a scenario where something happened to him again, but then there's a lot of weird stuff, like the car being parked over there.
Yes. Let's be really clear. His mother said his organs are not missing. So we need to make sure that we're spreading that in chats and making sure we have good information.
Yeah, so far we've got Kanika Jenkins, organ harvesting, and one person even said, oh, look, there's a little scar on her stomach there. And I go, so the scar healed up and everything? Okay, so there was no organ harvesting in that case. And then they said the same thing in Kendrick Johnson, because the idiot, I don't know who, what is he, an undertaker or whatever? Like
put who did
newspapers in there.
Yeah, they stuffed him with newspapers, but they didn't know where his organs were.
Yeah, and you couldn't use his organs because he was already decomposing inside the mattress there. So that wouldn't work.
Sure. Well, we can disagree on Kendrick.
Well, no, Kendrick Johnson, I think, is a possibility that it was a murder. There just isn't organ harvesting.
No, I don't think there was organ harvesting either.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that they were extremely careless with his body.
Yeah, and I think that might be related to, the people that people assume might be responsible have connections to those people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Oh, so I didn't even know that you were interested in Kendrick.
I made a video. Yeah, that might be one that we have.
I need a 3-part series. I think we need to do Kendrick.
Yeah.
And Christian.
I made a video on Kendrick, just one surveillance one that was interesting to me. How these other people tracked him while he was walking into the gym. Like they really seemed to be aware of what I don't know. It was pretty strange, but.
Oh, we need to talk.
Yeah, that's one that I think that the surveillance footage was edited in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all over the place. I mean, it's
Absolutely
nuts. So that's one I can buy into there being a cover up in. People were trying to compare it to Kanika, but man, it couldn't be more different. They released every freaking video in that thing where you could track her movements and his it's just all the different people. When I say his, oh god, do you hear that? He said his. Who's his? Oh boy. Yeah, so I guess you just wrote that down, Kendrick, right? Because now
I did.
Oh, here we go, everybody. This might be a good one.
This is going to be a good one, guys. So we also have Christian Andriacchio. There is one that I am working on currently. Her name is Deidre Reed. I haven't talked to Gray about that one. I was just putting something together on it. She's been missing. She's a mother. She was driving her child's dad, he's an ex, to Charlotte, and he never got on the Greyhound bus that he was supposed to get on. He claims that he did. He's lying, and she's never been seen again. So
that never happened.
Been missing a month now. Yeah. Have you heard about that one yet, Gray?
No.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
What's that one? Maybe just you can just send me on.
We'll talk about it after. Yeah. So
anybody got any more questions here? Appreciate you guys all being here. It's a pretty good crowd. 771 still, even though we switched topics. Amazing, you guys.
Yeah, people don't like that. Do not switch topics, Gray Hughes. Don't worry. There's 1, 2.
What do you mean me?
3, 4. 4 that I'm subscribed to are still live. So there you go.
Yeah.
Plenty of places to talk about Brian. I can't talk about him anymore.
Well, I covered the
Maya. You want to punch everything. Yeah. That's what Brian makes me want to do. Punch all the things.
I covered the Maya Malete case from the beginning, but then it was taken over by somebody else. So I just said, forget it. But the thing is, it's interesting. I mean, I think it's obvious who did it in that case. They're just trying to get the evidence together. It's not like and now it's really kind of about finding her to put the pieces together.
Mm-hmm. And give the family peace.
Yep.
So, had her body been there 3 or 4 weeks, putting her death around the 28th. Yeah. Yep. 27 to the 30th. They don't have an exact date, so. Normal, it's like 11. Okay. Well, I gotta run.
Okay.
I got dogs and babies and stuff.
No way, man. Wait, hold on.
All the things.
Thank you to Diamond Painting with Anxiety, and welcome to, let's see. Pink is my RX. Living It, Jackie P, Java K, Claire Morgan, and Holly all became new members, and then also Diamond Painting with Anxiety, and then Salty C, Quietly Frozen, Bama Forever, Kelly Wood, Paisley Dreams, Emily Flotilla, Jabberjaws, and Jabberjaws again for the super chats. So
thank you guys.
Appreciate it. We're gonna Tuesday seems like a pretty good, like a sweet spot. It's finding the other day.
It's the other day, yeah. I've got a lot of projects at work right now, so up early in the morning, getting on the projects, getting the stuff done so that I have some of the afternoon able to do this, my other job.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you guys probably, I don't know, maybe over the weekend or at the end of the week or something.
Sometime, yeah, maybe Friday, maybe
something.
Thursday,
Yeah.
could be Saturday.
You just never know with us, you know. You just never
watch the community wall. We'll be there.
All right. Well, it's good seeing you guys, and thanks for being here. And we'll see you guys.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you guys later. Here we go.
Oh, and we got 9,000 subscribers while we were on.
Oh, boom! I'm doing my breakdance wave. You just can't see it. All right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you guys later. Bye-bye. Is it going to work this time?
I don't know. Will it?
There it is. That one's funny. I like that.
Nope, still says live. We're still
No, I'm
live.
still going. I got to do the exit. Woo! I know you can hear us. I knew that.